He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome to Coast View, the show that continues every single day to celebrate the men and women who are making this place, coastal Mississippi, such an amazing place to live, work, and play. You know, for a little bit over a year now, I've dedicated myself to coastal Mississippi through this show and refining what I call the practice of the art of conversation. It's been a lot of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed creating Coast View, and I've had the opportunity to meet so many compelling people who are making impacts in Mississippi, especially here in coastal Mississippi. They're sharing their insights and their wisdom and their life stories and the lessons they've learned along the way. They all have so much to teach us. You know, it takes amazing people. It takes committed people to create this extraordinary collection of coastal communities that we have here in coastal Mississippi. And I'm humbled every day to share their stories. It's been a passion of mine. It's been a passion of mine for many, many years, but even more so these days because I want to have conversations. I think we need conversations that matter because, you know, in this day and time, there's so many things that sort of get in the way of positivity. So we need a break from politics and the division that too often define us these days. My ultimate goal is to create something positive that educates. So I wake up every morning enthusiastic about Coast View because I get an opportunity to spend time with incredible people. And I'm working to sort of hone my skills. That's been a lot of fun because I didn't come from radio. I don't know anything about radio. I've learned a lot over the past year. But I've been honing my skills and working at new ways to discover how to get to the essence of the inspirations my guests have to offer. That's been my commitment to you, and I will continue to sort of strive to do the best I can because coastal Mississippi deserves my best effort, our best effort. So I really appreciate you taking time to engage in Coast View. Whether you're listening daily, Monday through Friday at 103.1 at 9 and 1, it may be that you're listening on SuperTalk Facebook, Gulf Coast Facebook page. You may have missed a conversation, and you have the opportunity to go to Ricky Mathews / Coast View, the Facebook page, and you can scroll the post there, or you can go to the SuperTalk Gulf Coast Facebook page and look at the video section and scroll the videos there. But we've had over 500 conversations over the past 13 months, and I should also add that you can also go to your favorite podcast and actually search Coast View, and you can listen to it there. So thank you so much for engaging. We talk about resiliency on Coast View all the time. That's that capacity that we have in coastal Mississippi to recover quickly from the difficulties and challenges that we face along the way. And boy, have we faced our share of challenges. That is for sure. But we're tougher people because of it. And I think we're closer to each other than you would see in your average community. So we really know what it means to bounce back. I ran across this from Maya Angelou that I thought applies so well to us. And here's what she said. I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. Man, do we know that so well? I mean, if it weren't Camille or Katrina, certainly the pandemic. Here's something that Jada DeWalt said that has a lot to do with silver linings. When we learn how to become resilient, we learn how to embrace the beautifully broad spectrum of human experience. Isn't that true? I just think that is so true. We've learned in coastal Mississippi to see light when there was darkness. We've learned to see faith when there might have been reason for doubt. We've learned to see hope when there might have been good reason for despair. My friend Stacy Waldrop, who posts so many positive things, posted this from Ralph Waldo Emerson that applies so well, actually. It says this: finish this day and be done with it. You've done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities, no doubt, have crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin it serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. Every day is definitely a new day. That's certainly wise advice. And, you know, every day has this opportunity full of, every day has within it a day full of opportunity. When I think about resiliency, I think about Hancock County and the people of Hancock County, because in so many ways they've refined resiliency. Again, whether it's Katrina or Camille or other, challenges along the way, the pandemic for sure, Hancock County has actually led the way for recovery here in this pandemic. And I couldn't think of a better person with this theme for the show today, a better person to visit with today than my dear friend John Ferrucci, who's the general manager and chief operating officer for Hancock County Silver Slipper Casino. How you doing, John?
Doing great, Ricky. Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, man. It's been June since we last visited, and I said to you off the air, we can never go that long again without visiting. But you heard my opening comments about coastal Mississippi and resiliency and what I'm trying to do with Coast View. What thoughts did you have while I was sharing those thoughts?
Well, I have to tell you, I wanted to comment first of all on your show itself, because you talked about what you're trying to do and trying to create something positive that educates. And the timing, I listen to your show as often as I can. If I'm running late, I'm listening to it in the truck on the way in. Or if I get to the office, I turn it on while I'm doing something else. But the common thread in all your shows is very positive, and you're talking to the people who really are making a difference. And I've learned a great deal by listening to your show. But I appreciate the fact that we have a chance to share with you the experiences that we've had, and then the listeners to your program hopefully can take some of that with them, because we're all, the timing couldn't have been better. When COVID started becoming an issue for us over a year ago now, and you were there as a solid force, every morning, just giving everybody, positive feedback and helping them get through this time, and it was really very helpful. I know it was very helpful for us, and the folks in Hancock County. This has been our home for over 15 years now, 16 years since we broke ground here at the little old Silver Slipper at the end of the road, before you fall into the waters and turn into Louisiana. But we've had to deal with so many things as a community, and with us as a business in this community, and we are so much in the fiber of what happens around here, that everything that impacts Hancock County impacts Silver Slipper and vice versa. So we try very hard every day to make a conscious effort that we're in a constant rebuilding mode. We're constantly trying to move forward. I have 500 employees here, and the vast majority of them, over 90% of them, reside in Hancock County. So it's very important for us to keep the juices flowing and make sure that these folks are growing with us, and now, talk of an expansion coming up and all those wonderful things. It's kind of tough finding people to work these days. Everybody's going through the same problem, but we have a core of people who've been with us for a very long time, and they're very loyal, and it's a great work ethic here. So that translates to them going out into the community and sharing that wherever they go. And I have to say, the folks in Hancock County, when they talk to somebody and they say that they're an employee of the Silver Slipper, they're greeted with respect and appreciation for all the things that we do in the community. Our employees have the benefit of being a part of that too. So it all comes together.
Well, I enjoy talking to you, John, because when you think about resiliency and you think about sort of Hancock County being this big headline for resiliency, you think about large employers like Silver Slipper and your leadership of that organization, and you understand that in order to be successful as a community, you have to have businesses like yours integrated into the community. So whether it's through leadership efforts or whether it's having your employees volunteer in various efforts to build a better community or serve the community, by doing that, you get such a sense of what's going on in the community. You get a sense of what the mood is and where the needs are and where you can fill gaps, and you learn so much about it. And that's the hallmark for success that came out of Hancock County over all these years, and that's why you had such an incredible ability to bounce back. And we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But last week, Thursday and Friday, we had what is called Days of Gratitude on SuperTalk, and we really focused on that. And I thought it would be an interesting question to ask you, just as a leader of that organization, as someone who is very passionate about coastal Mississippi. When you kind of get in the quietness of your thoughts, What are you most grateful for?
Well, I really am grateful for so many things. I'll try to kind of zero in on it. More than anything, I'm thankful for my support group, or that group that supports me. And it starts in my home with my wife, Bridget, who is my rock. And she encourages me every day and gives me her words of wisdom every morning. And that kind of gets me started.
Hey, John, why don't we do this? Because that's a good place to sort of, we're going to pick up right there. Right. After Bridget, then you can expand from there. But we're talking with John Ferrucci. He's the general manager and the chief operating officer at Silver Slipper in Hancock County. Good friend of Kofi, good friend of mine. Someone who's got great insights. And we're going to continue to hear him talk about what he's grateful for. And then we'll see what the latest is. They've made a big announcement about expansion of a new hotel, and we'll find out how business is. And so there's a lot to talk about. We'll see you after this break.
Coast View on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here at I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We're visiting with John Ferrucci. He's the general manager and chief operating officer at Silver Slipper Casino in Hancock County. And when we went to break, he was talking about what he is grateful for. And of course, he started with his wife, Bridget. But John, I love the way you started that, because by positioning it the way you positioned it, it opens up all kinds of thoughts. And I haven't heard it quite said that way. And all kinds of thoughts came to my mind. But you said, let's start with my support group. It got me thinking about my wife and all those people around me and Kyle. And man, that's a great way to sort of begin the frame on this. So anyway, continue on.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, it starts at home. And even when I'm addressing our employees, if we have something where they get the opportunity to invite their spouses or their significant others to join them in a celebration that we're having, I make sure I thank them, because they have to, without their support at home, they couldn't be as good of an employee here, because it all kind of comes together, So it starts with that for me. And then, of course, our staff here, I'm surrounded by, there's 11 directors of each division, each department of our operation here at Silver Slipper. And every one of them has a great mindset. They're part of the cliche of a team, but everybody kind of works together. Nobody's got a hidden agenda, and nobody aspires to do anything other than doing the best job that they can today. Just like you said today, take care of today, and after today is gone, well, they do the best they can every day, and that's a blessing for me. And then I have a wonderful staff, and then our corporate office, they give us the support that we need to be successful. And when you have a combination of those things, I couldn't be more grateful, because it makes everything come together, makes everything work. When people ask me what I do, I tell them I don't really do anything. I point. And I have all these wonderful folks around me who do the work, and actually are the people who drive this, are the engine driving this machine. And if I point, in the right direction, then we're successful. So they help it all come together. So that's what I'm most grateful for, is that I have this cluster of people who are like-minded and have a common goal.
It's interesting because, in most of my career, I was CEO of a subsidiary company of a larger corporation. And I've often defined my ability to be successful as a leader, whether it was in the community after something like an oil spill or something like Katrina, or whether it was just trying to build a solid company. That relationship with your corporate office is so darn important. And, you kind of lucked out when you got Full House Resorts back in 2012, didn't you?
Well, yeah, not initially. But we went through an adjustment period of 2 years there. But then there was a change at the top, and our new CEO came in at the end of 2014, or the end of 2013, and 14 it wasn't. Dan Lee. And Dan Lee and I, we had the pleasure of working together some years before with Pinnacle. But ever since he came in, we have just, the trend line has been a straight line up. And it's because he understood what we were capable of doing. He gave us free rein to make good decisions on our own. He gave us the support with capital investments and those kind of things that we needed to grow our business. And everything they gave us to work with, we made successful. So that gave them more confidence to continue to do more, and that's why we're on the verge of doing something even larger these days.
So we'll talk about the hotel in just a second, but when we talk back in June, you had taken the downtime as an opportunity to spruce up the casino, to begin to reconfigure the gaming floor, to do all the things you could do so that when you open back up again, you could do it in a safe way. And the initial numbers were really, really good. That's been, 7 to 8 months ago? Where are you today?
Well, we everything that we planned to do, that we did, worked beautifully. When we had the opportunity to reopen on May 21st, we hit the ground running because everything was in place, in order, just the way we wanted it. We did a couple things differently. Everybody, most companies were afraid to reopen their buffets because of, obviously the social distancing and cross-contamination of some things. But we actually put 8 or 9 extra people on the buffet line every day. And our staff actually serves the food. The buffet is open. But you'll point to the food that you want on the line and tell them which piece of chicken you want or whatever you want, and our staff puts it on the plate for you. And that's how we got around that. Now, it's allowed us to employ several more people, and that, in addition to all the other things that we're doing to maintain safe distance, cleanliness, wiping down gaming positions as soon as a person leaves, plexiglass and all the point-to-point surfaces. All those things we're doing gave people confidence to come back, and that's what they did. Initially, we didn't see our older demographic, the 60 plus. They were slow in returning. They weren't sure, and I can't blame them because they were the most vulnerable, at the time, and probably still are. But once they had a chance to see, now it's been quite some time, 8-9 months now, that once they saw that we were taking all these precautions for their benefit, and our staff really appreciates it too, because they're as safe as you could be. Everybody still wears a mask. Most of our employees, all the food and beverage employees, wear gloves. And we're doing all this, and all of our guests have to wear masks also. So once we're doing all those, and now that older demographic, bless them, most of them have had both of their shots, so they're feeling that it's safe to return, and we're seeing every month that target market of ours is growing because they're having more confidence and they're starting to come back.
It's pretty awesome, though, to have had success in sort of the reopening of the economy environment, and then now with the vaccine really taking hold and seeing sort of let me say it like this, just seeing that there is actually a light at the end of the tunnel, it's got to be invigorating.
No, we were very pleasantly surprised. You didn't know what to expect, I mean, is everybody going to be scared to death? Is there going to be pent-up demand? I mean, it's going to fall somewhere in the middle. When we first opened up, we were limited. We had every other slot machine, and we only had 3 people at a blackjack table and all those things. But on March 6th of this year, the Gaming Commission gave us permission to open everything back up. And from that point on, people have taken advantage of it. Now we rolled right into the Easter holiday, and of course, that's a big snowbird season for us up on the coast. There's a lot of folks from the outer market that are down, and Easter usually marks the point where they start to head back home. And we haven't seen evidence of that yet, but they'll probably start heading out this week. Our RV park is full, a couple things like that. So we made the best of a bad situation, and we kept everybody gainfully employed, and that was the important thing. And we continue to rock.
That's awesome. In the short time we have left, you guys have had this plan for this new hotel for some time, and you've been working diligently to find the right time to sort of launch it. What's the latest on that?
Well, fortunately, we're making some progress these days, and you might have seen recently we put the renderings out so you can kind of get a feel for what the finished product's going to look like, and it's very exciting for us here. Now, we opened in November of 2006. So we've been doing this for a while down here at the end of the road in Hancock County. And our new hotel tower is going to be actually out over the water on the old Jubilee Pier. So 176 rooms, so with a double-loaded corridor. So the rooms on both sides of the corridor are going to be water view, looking north and south. So that's going to be spectacular. And then the first occupied level of the hotel, that whole first level is a spa. It's exercise rooms, it's saunas, it's hot tubs, it's workout equipment, and it's going to be maybe 5 or 6 spa suites for some of our better players who want to stay on that level. And that'll be the whole first level of that building. And then suites on the corners and, just gorgeous rooms. Dan Lee has great taste. He's done this several times. And when he finishes with a product, it's pretty awesome. So we're excited about what it's going to look like. It's still a work in progress, obviously. So right now, we're paying our dues. We're working with the government agencies, the Division of Marine Resources and the Army Corps of Engineers, and we have to, because we're impacting the water, and of course that's sensitive, and we're working through that, and we're getting very close. And I think we may be at the point where we'll be able to pull permits by the end of this year, and then we'll be able to start construction the first of the year.
Good, and of course you got your Tidelands lease from the Secretary of State worked out.
Yes,
so that was good news.
Yes, it was very good news, and they've always been very cooperative. And we just can't say enough good things about the Secretary of State's office. And then locally, Hancock County Board of Supervisors passed a resolution that they were in favor of us seeking the funding to improve our road. If you see us on the news, unfortunately, sometimes when the tides come up and the winds are blowing out of the east, the road into Silver Slipper gets covered up with water. The tide comes up, and we're the first road in the county, or maybe on the coast, to flood, and it impacts, obviously, our business. So the Board of Supervisors for Hancock County have agreed to do a bond issue, and we're actually going to build an elevated roadway from the corner of Lakeshore down past our building, elevated 4 or 5 feet, and it's going to mitigate that problem for us, so we'll be able to stay in business even when the tide comes up.
That is great news. I'm really thrilled to hear that you guys are doing that. But it's amazing what you've been able to do there, and through all the challenges and adversity that I talked about at the beginning of the show. When you think about resiliency, you have to think about Silver Slipper, and you can't think about Silver Slipper without thinking about John Ferrucci. John, it's been a pleasure to visit with you, buddy.
All mine, Ricky. It's always a pleasure, and don't be a stranger now, okay?
Okay, buddy. Take care. I'll see you soon. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. We'll see you after this.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast View on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. We got to talk Jimmy Buffett.
One day at breakfast, he says, I started a new song. He says, about a night and a day in Key West, I played a bar and I got drunk, and coming home, I stepped out of my flip-flop, and I just kept going. I stepped on a beer can. And the next morning, I'm up, and I'm hungover, and I'm trying to make a margarita. I got some shrimp boiling. I can't find the salt. I said, Jimmy, I kind of like this. And he said, yeah, I think I'll call it Margaritaville.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay,
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi. He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. I really enjoyed that conversation with John Ferrucci. What a terrific leader he is, not just in Hancock County, but for coastal Mississippi. And, you think about Hancock County, all those numbers that I just shared about how they've sort of led the economic recovery for our state, at least in terms of percentages, and what they've done to contribute to the recovery. It's been really a testament, really, to the resiliency of coastal Mississippi. And, all of the counties and cities of coastal Mississippi have been tested over and over and over again. And as Maya Angelou said, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. Again, this opportunity that we have learned through being knocked down so many times that we know how to bounce back up. We know how to get back up. We know how to see light where there's darkness and hope where there might be despair. And the pandemic was no different than that. And, what a privilege it is to have a conversation with someone like John Ferrucci, who really personifies the kind of leadership that we need here in coastal Mississippi. It was interesting when we started talking about Hancock County. Cammie, the content producer for the show, and we got to wondering about Josh Morgerman. You remember him if you're a regular listener to the show. He's the top hurricane hunter in the world. He is someone who has an international hit reality TV show called The Hurricane Man. He was on Coast View a lot of times last year because the reason why is that he chose to live in Bay St. Louis during the season, during the pandemic, so he could be sort of closer to what was going on. It turned out to be this hyper season, like a record-breaking season. Ultimately, we had Hurricane Zeta hit. So interesting. Josh was in that home in Bay St. Louis called Hurricane House, affectionately. And here it is at the end of the season, and the eye almost literally passes over his house. What a way to cap off a season. Anyway, Cammie said, where's Josh now? What is Josh up to now? Well, he went back to L.A. He's been in California, and I'm really thrilled to welcome him back to Coast View to check in to see how he's doing and see if he's coming back for the next hurricane season. We'll get into that in just a second. But how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, real good. And I have to say, it's very nice to be back on the show. It's kind of like coming back into a warm blanket, kind of a comfort zone for me.
Well, look, man, we enjoyed our developing friendship, Ann and I and Kyle, and you've sort of become a honorary citizen of coastal Mississippi. But looking back on this last season, it really is incredible to think that all of that you did, all the chasing that you did during the season, all the eyes that you were in, that it was capped off with Hurricane Zeta. You told a story recently on Facebook, actually, that you had not done a warm embrace of anyone during the whole pandemic until you met your neighbor out in the yard after Zeta. Tell about that real quick.
Yeah, so that was an incredible season finale. You know, it was, you couldn't have written, if you wrote it in a script, it would have been like a big cliche, but you know, I'm road tripping all around the deep south all summer, hunting down hurricanes, some of which were like 1,000 miles away. And the final one, you know, it was like the hunter became the hunted. That thing came right to Bay St. Louis. The powerful right eye wall of the hurricane just slammed the town head on. So my neighborhood got totally clobbered. I mean, really, we had serious damage. And right after the hurricane passed, all the neighbors were all out on the street just looking at the damage. House across the street had collapsed. And a girl who lived there just came out of the house, and she was kind of freaked out. She just walked up to me and hugged me. She just needed to like, I guess, touch someone. And it was the first time I think I touched someone, I think, in 9 months. I mean, like, it was weird, all this time of just not having human contact with others. It's really done something to all of us, I think, and I'm very excited we're going to be coming out of it soon.
Yeah, I am too. We talk about it all the time on the show, but for a long time we wondered, would there be a light at the end of the tunnel? And then we said, is that the light at the end of the tunnel? And now we say, oh, that is the light at the end of the tunnel. We don't have questions about it now. You see it, you feel it. In coastal Mississippi, people are out and about. I'm talking to restaurateurs who tell me that when someone comes in who has been, who's not been there in a year, and suddenly they show up, they are just thrilled to exclaim, I've gotten both of my shots, and they feel liberated, and they're out and about again, and you can just see the pep in their step. It's a really cool thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we so used to thinking how the country is so divided, we're so different. It's like, no, we're not. It's like same things happening in Southern California. January was really bad here in LA. I left Mississippi at the beginning of December, and I came back to LA just as the numbers are really going up. In January, I mean, there's no nice way to put it. It was a bloodbath here. I mean, just the hospitals overflowing. I mean, it was dark times. Everything closed down. I mean, it was ugly. And then after January, just as fast as the numbers went up, they just dived down, and we're really good. We're down 2 alert levels. Everything's opening back up. Everyone's getting vaccinated. It's warm out. We're coming out of the rainy season, so like restaurants are open. I mean, we even have indoor dining now. But there's just this feeling of like a rebirth or like renaissance, and it feels really good, man. After this last year, it's just like, it's great. I think the summer's going to be nuts in like a good way. In Mississippi, California.
You've been you're one of the things that enables you to be a hurricane hunter, to really sort of chase your passion for hurricanes, has been that you have a business that has enabled you to be able to work remotely. So even before remote was the cool thing, you had the ability to work remotely. You sort of personify that. Now remote work and the technology that enables it has changed the way business will be conducted forever. Now, I'm not saying we're going to stay in this mode we're in today, but we'll never go back to where we were. But you were lucky, really, that you had a business that enabled you to do that. How's your business doing today?
Yeah, we're doing good. I mean, we got through the pandemic fairly unscathed because our clients still need us to do what we do, and we're strategists, brand strategists, so we're paid for our minds, and you can deliver your thinking over Zoom and in PowerPoint strategy decks and stuff like that. So we were able to get through it, and like you said, the nature of our work, it means that my physical location often doesn't matter. That said, I still think that the in-person meetings, whether it's having lunch with a client or a strategy session with a bunch of people in a room, I still feel like there's something about that can't totally be replaced. I know everyone's going like full virtual now, but as someone who's lived a very virtual life, I have to say that there's something about the in-person collaboration. Like, I still think it's irreplaceable. There's something different about being in a room of people than there is about being in like a Zoom call.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is that we'll be able to enjoy the efficiencies, whether it be travel or whether it be someone not having to spend the time to drive into work and then drive back home again, and the efficiencies that we're enjoying with the new use of technology, and combine that with smart in-person meetings. You're seeing like Microsoft and Google and all these companies that are now beginning to announce that they're going to go, some aspect of their workforce will remain virtual, but they'll be going to sort of this quasi work environment where they'll be also coming into the office for special meetings and whatever. But I don't think that we'll ever go back to where we were, and it will reshape commercial real estate. It's just going to be, the world's going to be different. And as you know so well with hurricanes, when a hurricane hits, it may be 20 years before we fully appreciate what the transformation is after a hurricane hits. And if you think of the pandemic being a hurricane that hit the world, just think about the amount of studies and the books that are going to be written. We're still going to be talking about this 20 years from now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a history guy. I mean, that's what I studied in college. I didn't study hurricanes, I studied history, and so I try to, everything that happens with us, I always think, how is this event going to be discussed in history books, in historical accounts? And the pandemic, I think the enormity of it, I think it hasn't sunk in yet. The size, scale, the scope of the impact of this event on everyone, economically, psychologically, just you name it. And just like you said, how we interact, how we work, all that stuff, how cities are going to make money. I mean, my mother lives in Manhattan. Manhattan's going to change. A lot of Manhattan, sort of survives on commercial real estate, and that's going to change a little bit. Now, I think Manhattan has a lot of other things going for it, but I think that the way the city even generates revenue is going to change a lot.
My son, who lives in New York, is in the process of moving to a different place. But what's interesting about it, and this, the way they've dealt with it is they've taken a pretty significant amount of inventory off the market. And what they're doing is you're going to wait, and they're not going to leave that glut of inventory on the market, and they'll start to recalibrate things as they go along. That way they can keep market rates at a decent level. And it'll be interesting to see how the major cities deal with this. Hey, when we come back for the last segment, we'll continue to visit with Josh Morgerman, top hurricane chaser in the world. And is he coming back to Bay St. Louis? Is he going to have a reality TV show coming up? Let's find out what the latest is on that. We'll see Josh after this break.
You can also listen live to Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open Super Talk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on AllenToyota.com.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam, as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. Norbert, Elvis.
And I want to tell you about Presley. He had two different voices. He would sit and talk to me in a very calm, low voice. And we were at Stack's one night, and we were having lunch. We always had lunch at midnight because he was nocturnal. We sat there and we have our sandwiches, and at 1 o'clock, he looked up. He said, "Hey, Put, come on, it's time for me to go beat Elvis." And he stood up, and a much deeper voice, he put on his macho voice. "Hey, fellas, it's 1 o'clock. Let's get cracking, okay?"
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, Amazon Alexa, and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. One of the things that I meant to mention at the beginning of the show is that AccuWeather and other agencies are beginning to sort of release what their estimates are going to be on what kind of hurricane season we're going to have this year. Now, look, last year was a record breaker, unbelievable, the hyper active season. But they're expecting this year to be hyperactive too. That if you look at all the characteristics that contribute to an active season, it looks like that's going to be in place. We're already looking at some record ocean heat content numbers for the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic for this time of year. The Bermuda High was in place last year, which steered a lot of the storms into the Gulf. They're saying maybe that won't be as strong this year. It could let us somewhat off the hook. Would never let you off the hook. And it could be more of an East Coast event, but we don't know. But it's just going to be a hyperactive season. That was another reason to have Josh Morgerman, the top hurricane hunter in the world, to join us. But you know what, Josh? Hancock County became, Bay St. Louis in particular, kind of became your home away from home, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I definitely consider it a sort of a second home now. I over the course of that 5 months that I was living there, I developed a strong connection to the town. It's funny, my whole life I've been a city guy. I was born in New York City. I grew up around there. I went to school in Boston, living in LA. I'd never lived in a small town before. And there's, I don't know, some side of me that was like, maybe that's what I needed all along.
Yeah, it was great to see. You would walk and run and, you know, having dinner with you, Ann and I having dinner with you that night over on Beach Boulevard in Bay St. Louis, and you know, the cool breeze. I remember the weather that night was incredible, but there's just something special about that place. Are you coming back?
Yeah, sorry to say, Mississippi cannot get rid of me. I'm like a gum stuck to your shoe. I am coming back at the end of June, actually, just in time for the start of the hurricane season.
And what's the latest on having a reality TV show?
That's in the works. You know, TV is a complicated business, as you know. There's a lot of decision makers in a lot of different cities, but we're talking about having Hurricane Man Season 2, and I'm also possibly developing another series, which would be sort of a look back at my last decade of crazy typhoon and hurricane conquests around the world. So a lot of pots on the stove right now, and I'm hoping they both come through. But either way, I think you're not going to be able to obfuscate my face on the TV. It's going to be there.
Well, one of the things I admire about you, Josh, is that, first of all, anyone who travels internationally as much as you do and who is willing to go to some really far-flung places, because you don't know where a hurricane's going to hit, so you have to be willing to move around when you get there. And the kind of work you do about topography and, storm surge, and is this safe, and is there routes in and out, and can I move around once I get there? But what I found about people who do that kind of travel, you're pretty smart, pretty smart people. Well, you're a Harvard graduate, you're a successful entrepreneur, and I've really gotten to know you as just a genuinely smart guy, but who has a passion. I've called you kind of crazy stupid before, but you're actually crazy smart. But you have a passion for hurricanes, and this is just something that you do. And in case of Zeta, for example, that was actually one of two storms that you experienced on the Yucatan Peninsula and then back on the Gulf Coast. I mean, that was a first for you in and of itself, wasn't it?
Yeah. To do the kind of two penetrations in two different countries of the same hurricane. Yeah, that was unique. And then to do it again just a few weeks later made it even weirder. It was Hurricane Delta first in the Yucatan and Louisiana, and then Zeta in the Yucatan and Mississippi.
Well, it was interesting because people were wondering on your social media, say, what's Josh going to do? What's Josh going to do? And then you would go dark for a period of time, and then suddenly you'd reappear on the Mexican Yucatan, doing your thing. And you guys are kind of competitive. I mean, the people who do what you do, that's just kind of goes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And some guys will deny it, but it is. And I'm open about it. I've always been a competitive guy. I think it's something my dad pushed me really hard in sports when I was a kid, and I think it's stuck with me. And I am competitive, and I tend to be a little quiet about my strategy, in the early stages, just to kind of, make sure no one's on my tail.
That's so interesting, but it has served you well over the years and made, quite a name for yourself. As you kind of walk around in LA today, you talked about how it's coming back. Is it starting to feel kind of normal there? What's the kind of state of affairs there today?
It's getting there. I mean, it's hard to gauge, and I think we've all been through such a strange collective experience that it's almost hard to remember what normal is like. It feels more normal. I remember at the height of the pandemic, just Beverly Hills and West Hollywood, the area that I live, it was just a ghost town. Everything closed all the time, and it had a weird quality. It's not like that now. Places are open. Everywhere has outdoor seating. So buzz has come back. So I would say it's started to feel more normal. That was one of the things I liked about Bay St. Louis, I have to say, was, since there's so much outdoor seating at all the restaurants along Beach Boulevard, during the whole summer and fall, the pandemic was going on, but there was a feeling of normalcy, which I found very, very comforting. I love to just go into town. It always had that buzz and that kind of lively quality that just made you feel good.
Well, Josh, we're at the end of our time together, but thanks for enabling us to kind of break into your California world for a few minutes just to get an update. We look forward to seeing you again here. And by the way, I hope you're on Coast View a lot less this year, because that would mean that we didn't have as active a season.
Well, that hurts my feelings, but I will accept that.
Look forward to visiting when you get here, my friend. So it's been a pleasure. We'll talk to you soon.
Great to be back.
This has been Josh Morgerman, the top hurricane hunter in the world, who calls Bay St. Louis home during the season again this coming season. So we look forward to tracing his many, many journeys during the season. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.